Hey guys, today I'm excited to be speaking with Elliott Hulse, a professional strongman, strength coach, and author. His mission is to help you reach your full potential and become the type of person that looks great, feels amazing, and is admired and respected. Elliott, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So you've dedicated a lot of time and energy into your health and wellness and your fitness specifically. And I wanted to get your take on why is it so important to you, and why should others take their health and fitness seriously?
Well, I wish I could say that I had some tremendous breakthrough or some breakdown that allowed me to break through, but the fact is that I grew up in a home where health and wellness was always of paramount importance. My parents are from Belize, and they literally grew up in an environment that we would call paleo today. You know, like you've got so many cool terms like organic food and paleo and stuff like that. And my parents just kind of grew up in nature, and they ate what nature provided. And when they came to the United States, and particularly my dad, he grew ill very quickly, being subjected to the chemicals in our food and the chemicals in our environment, even the air that he breathed, because he came from Belize and went right to Brooklyn, New York. So you can imagine, you know, from swinging on vines to traveling in the subway, he was pretty sick for a while, you know, just like chronically tired and whatnot. And he quickly realized that it was because of the new environment and new foods that he was eating. So as he raised me and my brothers and, you know, my sister, my family, there was a great emphasis on eating foods as naturally as possible and exercising, simply because that's what human beings are designed to do. I was fortunate enough also to have my uncle, my mom's brother, live with us. And on top of the tremendous nutritional influence my dad and my mother had on us, my uncle was a gymnast, a martial artist. He ran marathons. He was a bodybuilder. And I was 4 years old, and here's this guy who's essentially Superman, because he can do standing backflips, and he can break bricks in half with his hands, living with us. So you could just imagine that my consciousness, the way I think, arises out of an environment where at a very young age it was like, well, you know, you can actually do things that Superman does, like walk on your hands and do backflips and chop bricks, and you don't put anything in your body that doesn't support vitality. And that's basically where I got my thirst, fervor, or just character when it comes to fitness and health, you know?
I remember you were discussing in one of your videos, you had talked about how even at your, you know, lowest point financially, you still focused on eating healthy foods and investing in your body, because that kind of seeds into everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think, you know, I know your second question was, why do I think it's important for other people? Well, we're so focused on the things that we do, and in particular, the things that we know, because we live in the information age. So you can know exactly how to lose weight but still be obese. You know, you can know a lot of stuff, but there's very little emphasis, especially with living in this virtual world. I mean, we literally live in clouds now. You know, everything that we do is like, oh, it's up in the clouds. Download it from your clouds. We live in, excuse my language. We live in the clouds. So what I invite people to do is to realize that no matter what you know and what you even do, because that's just, you know, one step closer to the roots of what's transformational, it's who you are that's important. And there are a few things that make you who you are that you can work with. Number one is the food that you eat. Because the food that you eat literally becomes the cells of your body. I mean, you want to think better, consider what your brain cells are being made of. And your education. You know, education's important because ideas support new behavior, but it always begins with consciousness. It always begins with the way you're thinking about yourself and the world you're living in. So that's really the roots.
That's awesome. So profound. And on that note, you discuss, you know, becoming reaching your full potential as a human being, reaching higher consciousness. What is your true definition? I mean, you talk a lot about fitness, but what's your true definition of an alpha male? You know, in addition to being dominant, or
alpha male. It's an interesting concept, but the way I see it is the more grounded you are, the more you can, not, the word is not control, but command, the greater command you have over your sexual energy. And I believe that an alpha male is an individual who is not hysterically caught up in the moment, doesn't fly off the handle, isn't very aggressive without having it balanced with a sense of tenderness. Yeah. He's aggressive, but he's grounded and tender. Do you see?
Yeah.
And it's a balance. You know, we'd like to say that, you know, these are the character traits of an alpha male, but really, any human being who's fulfilling their truest potential or on the journey of fulfilling their truest potential is a person who has their feet on the ground, but they're always looking forward or they're always looking up. It's this, this balance
kind
between
of a balance, right? Mm-hmm. And how does strength tie into that? Physical strength.
Well, it's the vehicle through which you approach this world. You know, is your body. If you're physically weak, I don't see how you could be mentally strong, emotionally strong. You know, even that word emotions, you know, we spend so much time and focus on, you know, healing of the emotions. We have so many emotional disturbances in our culture now that people are taking medication for depression. But even that word emotion denotes motion. I mean, that it's one of the words in there. Energy in motion. What happens in our mind happens in our body. And what's happening in our body is linked to our mind. In fact, I often say that our body is our mind.
Yeah.
So there's really no separating them. If you want to become more intelligent, you want to have better relationships, you want to make more money, it begins with the mind. And the mind literally drops down into the body via the peripheral nervous system.
Yeah,
so you got to work with the body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's a great point. I never thought about it that way. You know, we think of our mind kind of as a separate thing, but it literally connects into your physical body. Yeah.
Right. There's no separation between the neocortex, the cortex, the medulla, and the brainstem. Yeah. And then what does the brainstem do? It branches out into the organs and the muscle. So it's like you think you're training your bicep, but really you're training your brain. You're training your mind.
Yeah, it's all interconnected. So when you're training your muscle, or when you're training people at strength camp, what are the biggest frustrations or challenges of your clients there when it comes to building strength and putting on muscle and working out?
Well, it's not the one that they think it is. You know, people come in, and if you're a trainer, and you know, if you're a therapist, or if you work with people in any way, shape, or form, they've got this thing that they think is their problem. But really, when you take a good look at it, you realize that that is just the manifestation of a deeper problem that you didn't see. So growing stronger physically, a lot of people will say, well, yeah, you know what, I'd like to deadlift more weight, or I'd like to squat more weight, I'd like to press more weight. But as I mentioned earlier, who you are determines what you do, so focusing on who you are is more important. If I take a look at you and your posture is off, I mean, as simple as your joint integrity, if that's off, if you don't have the instantaneous axis of rotation in your joints, basically they don't sit nicely, because you've got a kyphotic posture, because you're at a computer all day long, or poor self-esteem, which often leads to postural distortions, or physiological dysfunctions that lead to postural dysfunctions. You know, like, for example, if you're eating foods that you're intolerant to, there is a viscerosomatic inhibition that causes the muscles of your abdominal wall to shut off. So you can come to me and say, well, yeah, Elliott, I want six-pack abs, but then I have to take a look at, well, that's fine. We can help you burn fat, and we can help you train that muscle, but the nervous system, the connection to those muscles, is completely shut off because you're on medication or you're eating foods that potentially shut down the nervous system's connection, you know, your ability to turn on those muscles. Or we could take it one step further and say, well, why are you not digesting your food properly, and why is it causing inflammation in your gut? And that could take us to the fact that, oh, you got money problems. You're $70,000 in debt, and your wife is upset about this, and she's thinking about leaving you, and you just found out your daughter's pregnant. So it's like, wait a second, you came here wanting six-pack abs, but we just took a look at your digestive system, and we realized that your digestive system is screwed up because of your stress in your life. So, like you said, you know, when people come for their thing, I never look at their thing. It's like, okay, that's nice, you want that, but why is that a problem?
That's such an excellent perspective. I mean, it's something so unique that you don't usually hear. A lot of people, when you think of their biggest challenge, they think, yeah, exactly like you said, I want to lift more, I want to be stronger, I want to squat more. But in reality, I mean, it's so much deeper than that, right? They might have issues at home, or it's like you said, like with digestion, your foods that you eat are just so important. People neglect the nutrition side of fitness a lot more so than they do because it's not, you know, very tangible, I guess. So.
And it also requires 24
Yeah.
hours a day dedication. You know, it's easy to train. I'm all sweaty because I just finished training. I mean, that's an hour.
It's
Now I'm
1
done.
hour, exactly.
You know.
But nutrition is 24 hours a day, right? I think an hour a day is about 4% of your entire week, right? So
yeah, that's right. So it doesn't require that much. You just got to do it.
Yeah, great. Such valuable information. So now we know the challenges of these guys. What are like 3 suggestions you would give to anybody that's starting out, that's trying to, transform their body physically, and build muscle, build strength? What kinds of things, or what are 3 things that you would suggest to them to do?
It depends on the person, and it depends on the goal. It's difficult for me to answer that, and I'm kind of annoying that way. And if you've ever watched my videos, I don't necessarily answer their questions. I don't answer people's questions. Yeah. I always take it a few steps back and go to the root of, well, what is the context of your question? Why are you asking me that question? Where are you coming from? For me, it's always, where are you coming from? What is the root of this? Yeah. I'm just more fascinated in big picture things than tangible, measurable things you can do. I'm more interested in who are you? Why are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Then, okay, you could do these three tips. But, that people want tips. So, one of the things I would invite someone to do, and it's all basic stuff, it's not sexy at all, is, are you sleeping at night? I'm shocked at how many people they're either living by choice way off of their biological rhythms, meaning, they're staying up late playing video games or watching TV or messing around on Facebook. Yeah. And, they're up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and then they want to have gains in the gym. And it's like, dude, you totally you missed your anabolic window. Yeah. And you're doing it every single night, and you think that this is like, I heard someone say this the other day, I think they commented on one of my videos, that I'm genetically inclined towards being a night owl. I'm like, yeah, that's the biggest crock of SH that I've ever heard in my life. Because it's like, you're not genetically inclined to staying up beyond that which the sun provides.
Rhythm.
Electricity in the homes just came about like 100 years ago. What do we do up until that point? When the sun goes down, you settle down. That's where your DNA is at. That's how your physiology responds to the celestial bodies. We think we're different. We think we're separate from even the earth and the sun and the moon. It's like, no, do you realize that your hormones are dictated based on where the planet is? Yeah. And you think that you're genetically disposed to doing shit outside of your roots, your planet? So, that's one. Another one would be, are you hydrated? I'm shocked at how many people just don't drink water. It's a stupid thing. It's not sexy. I'm not using big words or giving you new supplements to go and research. It's freaking water. We're made up of like 90% water. And if you're only drinking, people come to me with like, I drink vitamin water. I drink Gatorade. I drink a lot of milk. And I'm like, listen, that's it. You're not made up of vitamin water, and aspartame. You're made up of fresh water. Yeah. And if you're not drinking water, then I really would not even be interested in talking to you about weight loss. I don't want to talk to you about fat loss. I don't want to talk to you about building muscle if you don't drink water. You see, that's like going to a dentist and being like, I'd like to have pearly, shiny white teeth. And he's like, okay, well, what kind of toothbrush do you use to brush your teeth? Oh, brushing teeth? Nah, I just don't like doing that. He kicked you out of his office.
I'm just not genetically inclined to brush my teeth,
It's just not in me.
Nice. I love it.
So there's that, and then and this is very general again, and it's not sexy, and it's not specific, but then again, that's the way I roll.
Yeah.
Move. Move. Now, I've been a professional strongman. I train athletes. I love jumping, throwing, dragging, pushing, pulling, and as much performance as I could squeeze out of my body and my clients' bodies, I do. But that is just resting on a foundation of movement. You just got to move, and usually for most people that are just starting out, the easiest thing to do is just go walk. You'd be shocked at the type of transformation that you will have psychologically, physiologically, and neuromuscularly if you just get up and take a freaking walk. We don't walk, I heard a joke the other day, or maybe I saw a meme on Facebook where, people are fighting for the closest parking spot they can find at a gym, where they then go inside in an air-conditioned room and they walk on a treadmill. It's like, well, You don't want to walk from your car to the gym, but then you get in the gym and you walk on a freaking treadmill. People avoid movement as much as they possibly can, and I just invite you to make it a habit, not a routine, not a program, just a habit. The same way you mentioned brushing teeth should be it should be considered in the same light as going and brushing and taking a walk. Every day, just take a walk. If you want to escalate it from there, that's fine, but if you're not doing that basic thing, the basic human movement of walking or just even body weight squats, then I want to talk to you about six-pack abs and getting rid of this. That's what women like to do. I want to get rid of this.
Specifically that, This is, such great advice. That's why I like your videos so much, because you just kind of like bring it back to the basics, You don't, it's no BS. I mean, it's just straight up, these are things that you're missing. And you gave us actually 4 good points, which were, even more than I asked. I mean, the first thing was out of the left field, which is dig deeper and find out really why you're doing it. What's behind the motivation, what's going on in your mind. And once you have that figured out, then you can work on the 3 things: sleep, hydration, and movement. All great things that everybody should be taking care of essentially. I mean, whether or not they want to get in six-pack abs or not, I mean, you gotta live. You gotta do these things to just live. So,
all right, it's just basic stuff.
Yeah, very valuable. And so, what does your transformation look like over the years, and how has strength training affected your life?
Oh, transformation! I wish I could tell you that it's been a linear progression, but I've got one of these weird gift/curses where my body responds like that to anything that I do.
Oh man!
So I've gone from being 225-pound football player to 185 pounds, really lean, doing martial arts, back up to 260-pound strongman, down to about 195 doing adventure races, which was about a year ago. Back to where I am now, which is I've been doing some bodybuilding and some more powerlifting, and I'm probably about 220 pounds now. So, and I just gained that 20 pounds 2 months ago.
Wow.
It's been 8. So there's no transformation like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. There's just this, my body looks like what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's very sport specific.
Yeah, whatever I happen to be doing, my body takes that shape. So it's a good thing, it's a bad thing though, because if I go off and start eating poorly, it shows up the next day. I can't get away with eating poorly.
Yeah, and that just shows that that there's no excuse, because even you yourself are continuously molding and changing your body in the direction that you want it to be for a specific purpose, and you can tell you're actually serious about what you do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and another thing is, you brought up a good point that you kind of change it accordingly, and a mentor of mine once told me that that's the only way to keep yourself engaged the entire time. If you keep doing the same thing for your whole life, on this linear path that you were saying, you probably won't stay on it. It's just going to get boring. But if you keep changing it up and you're trending in the direction that you want to go, then even if it's not a linear path, you still get to where you want to be. So. Yeah,
and then your life is full of experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm way too bored not to have lots of experiences. I don't know how people literally live. It's they say they're 40 years old, but really it's no, you're 1 year old that lived 40 times over. It's boy, are you really? Have you ever gone back to high school and seen the kids that are doing and look exactly the same as where you left them?
Yeah.
And it's boy, it's 10 years have passed by, but for you, 1 year has passed by 10 times.
So that's hilarious. Yeah.
I guess I got ADD or something. I just can't be settled and just take what I have. I'm always looking for something else. Maybe that's neurotic,
So what's next? What do you have? What do you have planned for the future of Strength Camp?
I've been able to broaden my reach over the past year or two through the internet, but I'm having this deep desire to touch people, to help people at a more visceral level. I started out as a one-on-one personal trainer,
right?
And that evolution looked like one-on-one training to group training to creating training products that I sell online and doing group training online to making a video that almost 400,000 people a day will see.
Yeah.
To, you know, so now it's like it's so broad and there's so many people in that funnel that I want to almost go back, and I just, you know, I can see over the next couple of years coming back to the roots of just working on personal transformations with a select group of clients.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So yeah, do you have any opportunities if anybody wants to, you know, get some coaching from you? What would they need to do?
It's not available.
Okay.
It's not available right now on an ongoing basis, but I do offer consultations. If you go to hulsestrength.com and just hit coaching,
Okay.
you know, that's what I want to build the constructs to be able to do that in a, you know, a regular fashion once again. But I mean, over the past 5 to, you know, less than 10 years, I've gone from, you know, being a single dude to having 4 children,
Yeah.
at a gym, and, you know, spending so much time online talking to guys like you, and also making videos and creating programs that I could use to help people. So my time is like, I could barely even wipe my butt, you know.
Yeah. There you go. You guys hear that? He's not available, but you can access him through some of his products online at ElliottHulse.com. And his YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's actually, ElliottHulse.com is kind of being worked on, but
Okay.
it will be up soon. But HulseStrength.com.
HulseStrength.com. Okay. I'll put. Oh yeah, you can see I'll put the link down below so you guys can see it.
Ooh.
HulseStrength.com. Make sure it's the right one. Great. So, that's all the questions I have for today. Do you have any last tips, advice, words for the guys that are watching this channel or this video?
Yeah, I guess right now, the thing that I'm thinking more than any is that we overcomplicate everything. Everything is way too overcomplicated in every realm of our lives, and fitness is one of those that's, you know, the ego has grabbed hold of, and we no longer even listen to our bodies. You know, oftentimes your body tells you, if you're aware, your body tells you what's right and what's wrong. It's very easy to get in touch with your intuition, your feelings, and the responses, the physiological responses that your body's like, it's telling you, like, hey, this is bad, this is not working out for us. You know, people have all types of symptoms, and they literally, first of all, if you're getting symptoms, which could be lack of results as a symptom, it's not that you don't need a pill for it. You don't need to go to the doctor for it. You actually just need to look at what you're doing and what your body's trying to tell you. Your body's either telling you, okay, well, you're going to need more sleep, or, you know what, you need to probably cut that much caffeine out of your diet, or you probably need to stop drinking so heavily on the weekends. Your body is designed to tell you, but we don't trust our bodies anymore.
Yeah.
We only trust our heads. And because we only trust our heads, the head, the brain, that part of our mind is very satisfied and feels very good, is very gratified with information, ideas. It's abstract, you know. This is concrete, this is abstract.
Yeah.
So we want to read more books, we want to study more courses, we want to speak to different experts and see what this guy has to say, and say, oh, this guy's wrong because this what this guy said.
Yeah.
And we get caught up in this, like I said earlier, the clouds of our existence, and we forget that it's like, come back down here, guys, grounded again, like, you know, being alpha.
Yeah.
What is your body telling you? Trust yourself, go back to the basics, and you'll be fine.
Words of wisdom. That's excellent. Well, with that, guys, Elliott, thank you so much for sharing this valuable information with us today. Don't forget to check out HulseStrength.com, and if you want any products for that'll help you build muscle, get strength, and become an alpha male, you know. Thank you so much, Elliott.
You got it.
So you guys ask yourself today, what are you going to do to create your legacy? All right, take care.
Thank you.